So good morning everyone. In this video we are going to discuss very important topic, time and work. So what we'll be doing is we'll be solving all the questions from previous papers so that you'll be getting a clear idea how to solve the questions with respect to previous papers. So we'll be coming across simple and short tricks which will help you to crack the questions from time and work as simple as that. So just trust me and watch our videos completely so that you'll be getting a clear idea how to solve questions from time and work. And if you are new to our channel and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so that you'll be getting the notification once the video is uploaded. And I need all you guys to share our videos with maximum number of persons. This is the only request I have for you. Why? Because I need support from you guys. So try to share our videos with maximum number of persons and I will be coming across best and unique techniques which will help you to crack the examinations as early as possible. So let us look at the next pattern of questions. Even these pattern of questions are important. Even these are questions which comes frequently. A can do a piece of work in 16 days, B can do it in 36 days, C can do it in 48 days. A, B, C starts work together. After 4 days A left and then after 5 days B also left. Then how many days C completed the remaining work? So asking us to find C is going to complete the remaining work in how many days? It is said that A can complete work in 16 days. So A is going to complete work in 16 days. B is going to complete the same work in how many days? 36 days. Whereas C is going to complete the same work in how many days? 48 days. Now according to the question, what happened is initially A, B, C starts to work. Initially A, B, C starts to work. They worked for how many days? They worked together for 4 days. After that what happened is A left the work. A left the work means then B, C are going to do the work. They worked together for 5 days after that. After 5 more days B also left. After 5 more days B also left, which means C alone is going to work. Now your question is to complete the remaining work. Remaining work is this one. To complete this remaining work, C is going to take how many days of time? That was your question. Okay, so read the question clearly. A, B, C works together for 4 days. After 4 days A is going to leave, which means B and C are going to work together for 5 more days. After 5 more days B is also going to leave. B is also going to leave means only C is going to work. Now your question is to complete this remaining work, C is going to take how many days of time? This was your question. Okay, so first I will be showing you normal procedure and then I will be showing you a smart way to solve this question. Okay, now 16, 36, 48. What is LCM for 16, 36, 48? LCM will be 144. Now 16 how many times 144? 16 9 times will be 144. Now 36 how many times 144? 36 4 times will be 144. 48 how many times 144? 48 3 times will be 144. Which means A will eat 9 apples per day, B will eat 4 apples per day, C will eat 3 apples per day. Okay, now according to the question, initially all 3 of them are working. That is A is working, B is working, C is working. A will eat 9 apples, B will eat 4 apples, C will eat 3 apples. All of them combined together means this will be 9 plus 4, 13, 13 plus 3, 16. Which means they are going to consume 16 apples in 1 day. Now they worked for how many days? They worked together for 4 days. In 1 day they can eat 16 apples. In 4 days, 4 into 16, they are going to eat 64 apples. Which means in first 4 days they already completed 64 apples. After that what happened? After for 5 days B and C are working. B and C are working for how many days? For 5 days. Now if you look here, B can eat 4 apples in a day, C can eat 3 apples in a day. Both of them together means 4 plus 3, 7 apples. They are going to eat 7 apples for how many days? Means 5 days. 5 into 7, that is going to be 35. Which means the first 4 days they ate 64 apples, remaining 5 days they ate 35 apples. Now the remaining apples should be consumed by only C. Remaining apples should be consumed by only C. Now you are supposed to say how many days did C need to complete the remaining work? That was your question. Now work completed 64 plus 35. 64 plus 35. Complete is nothing but 99. Which means out of 144, 99 is completed. 99 completed means remaining balance. Remaining balance is nothing but 45 apples. Now this 45 apples who is going to eat? This 45 apples C should eat. Yes or no? C is going to eat how many apples per day? C will eat 3 apples per day. To eat 45 25 apples, C is going to take 15 days of time. So answer is going to be 15 days of time, which means C is going to work alone to complete the remaining work. How many days means C is going to take 15 days to complete the remaining work. This was your question. Okay, simple one. If you are going to understand the question clearly, once if you follow whatever we have discussed, then you'll come to know that C is going to complete the remaining work. The remaining work C is going to complete in just 15 days of time. Is that clear with everyone? Now, how to solve this question in one more way? I will be showing you one more way of solving this question. If you look at the question, according to the question, it is said that what it is said, A is going to work for 4 days. Why? Because if you observe here, A worked only for 4 days of time. If A is going to work only for 4 days of time, actually A can complete work in 16 days. A can complete work in 16 days. If he is going to work for 64 days of time, which means he is going to complete 1/4 of the work. Yes or no? 1/4 of the work is nothing but 25% of work. Why? Because A can complete work in 16 days, but A worked only for first 4 days. If A is going to work for only first 4 days, then in 4 days he is going to complete 1/4 of the work. In the similar way, B can complete work in how many days? 36 days. Now B worked for how many days? B started here and B is working till here, which means B worked 4 plus 5, total 9 days. In one day B can complete 1/36 of the work. In one day 1/36 of the work. In 9 days B can complete 9/36. That is nothing but 1/4, which is nothing but 25% of work. Which means if you look here, A already completed 25% of work. A already completed 25% of work. B also completed 25% of work. Now out of this 25% means out of 100%, already 50% of the work was completed. 50% of work was completed by whom? 25% completed by A, 25% completed by B. Then the remaining work is nothing but 50%. Now this 50% of the work should be completed by whom? 50% of the work should be completed by C. Why? Because in this A, B, C are working. Out of this, A completed 25% of work, B completed 25% of work, then remaining work is like 50%. Then 50% of the work is completed by whom? 50% of work is completed by C. Actually, C is going to take how many days? 48 days to complete the work. If he is going to take 48 days to complete the total work, now it is like only 50% of the work. To complete 50% of the work, he needs just half of this. Half of this means 24 days of time, which means C to complete 50% of the work, he is taking just 24 days of time. Which means out of this total work, we know that A completed 25%, B completed 25%, remaining 50% was completed by C. And we know that to complete 50% of the work, C is going to take 24 days of time. Now your question is to what? Your question is like, how many days did C work alone? Now if you look here, C is working the total work. C is working starting to ending. If C is going to work, then C is going to take 24 days of time. Why? Because C is starting and is going to work till ending. That is the reason from starting to ending he will take 24 days of time. But the question is not like how many days did C work. The question is like how many days does C require to complete the remaining work. We need to find only this duration. Means from total number of days, if I subtract these days, then automatically I can say how many days are this one. Total number of days means from here to here, total number of days is nothing but 24 days. Out of these 24 days, 4 plus 5, I need to subtract this 9 days. Why? Because from here to here it will be 9 days. Then the remaining days should be here. So 24 minus 9, we can say that number of days required to complete the work is nothing but 15 days, which is same as answer whatever we got earlier. Okay, so either you can do in this way and you can get answer as 15, or you can say that A completed 25% of work, B completed 25% of work, then the remaining work will be C. Remaining work is like 50%. So to complete 50% of the work, C should take half of this, that is 24 days, which means C is going to work totally. So C took 24 days of time, which means the question is saying like how many days are required to complete the remaining work? Remaining work means from here to here it is 24 days. Out of 24 days, this is like 4 plus 5, 9 days. This is 9 days. So from 24, if you subtract 9, we can say that balance will be 15 days. So if you are going to solve them in this way, then this calculation can be done orally. You will not use your pen and paper as well. But if you are going to do in this way, then you are going to use your pen and paper. Okay. So it's up to you, either going in this way or either going in this way. If you are going to go in this way, it's like an oral calculation. Even this is also not required. Okay. Question was it in this way. A can complete a work in 32 days. B can do it in 36 days. C do it in 46 days. All of them starts work together. A leaves after 8 days. B leaves after 1 more day. In how many days C will complete the remaining work? This was your question. And even this question is similar to whatever we have discussed earlier. It is said that A can complete work in how many days? 32 days. B can complete work in how many days? B can complete work in 36 days. C can complete work in how many days? C can complete work in 46 days. Now if you look here, if you are going to take LCM, now this question is going to become complicated. Now rather than going LCM, if you are going to go with percentage, whatever we have discussed earlier, then it's going to be simple. Now question said that A leaves after 8 days, which means A is going to work for 8 days of time. In 1 day, A will do 1 by 32 of the work. In 8 days, A is going to do how much? 8 by 32. That is like 1 by 4, which is nothing but 25% of work. Similarly, after 1 day, B also left. After 1 day means A worked for 8 days. After 1 day means after 9 days, B also left. B actually can do 1 by 36 in a day. B actually can do 1 by 36 in 1 day. In 9 days, he can do 9 by 36. Now 9 goes here how many times? 4 times. Now this will be 1 by 4, which is 25%. Which means A already completed 25% of work. B already completed 25% of work. Now remaining balance is how much? 50% of work. Why? Because out of 100% is 25%, 25%, 50% completed. Remaining like 50%. This 50% should be completed by whom? 50% should be completed by C. According to the question, C will take how many days? 46 days to complete the work. If C takes 46 days to complete the total work, now it is 50% of the work. 50% of the work, he need only 23 days of time. Yes or no? Now your question is saying like what? How many days C required to complete the remaining work? Remaining work means, if you look here, already they worked for A worked for 8 days, B worked for 9 days. Now remaining work means if I subtract these 9 days, the remaining work is going to be completed by C alone. Okay. Now out of these 23 days, why? Because A was there for total 23 days. So the remaining work means after 9 days. Why? Because for first 8 days A will be, and after that 1 more day B is also there. After A, B left means from the 9th day onwards, that is like after 9th day onwards only C is going to do, which means C will take total 23 days. Out of this I am going to subtract this 9 days. Why? Because for first 9 days B was there and for first 8 days A was there. So I am going to subtract 23 minus 9. We can say that number of days is going to be 14 days. Okay, which means if you are going to solve them in percentages, this question can be done orally. You do not use your pen and paper as well. Oral calculation, you are going to get that answer. Okay. Next question. A can do a piece of work in 20 days. B in 30 days. They work together for 7 days. And both, then C leaves. C alone finishes the remaining work in 10 days. In how many days C finishes full work? This was your question. And this was the question that was asked in SSC CGL Tier 2 examination. Okay. So, simple question. A, how many days it seems? A can complete work in 20 days. B, how many days it seems? B can complete work in 30 days. According to the question, they work together for 7 days, which means work is started and it is saying that A, B, they are going to work together for 7 days. After that what happens is like both of them leave the work. Now both A and B are going to leave the work. So A, B, both of them will leave the work. Now then C alone finishes the remaining work in 10 days. C alone finishes the remaining work in 10 days. Now your question is to find C alone can complete the work in how many days? C alone can complete the work in how many days? Simple question. Okay. Now take LCM 20, 30. LCM will be 60. Now this fellow how many units? 3 units. This fellow how many units? 2 units. Okay. Now in the question it is said that A and B working together initially. If A and B works together initially, A can complete 3 units in a day. And if you look at B, B can eat 2 apples per day. A can eat 3 apples per day, B can eat 2 apples per day. If both of them eating means they are going to consume 5 apples per day. In 7 days, 7 into 5, 35 apples completed, which means out of 60 apples, 35 apples are consumed by whom? Consumed by A and B. In how many days? 7 days. Then remaining apples are nothing but 25 apples. Now this 25 apples consumed by whom? This 25 apples should be consumed by C. Why? Because C is going to work for the remaining 10 days of time. Now if C is going to complete this 25 apples, to consume this 25 apples, C took how many days? C took 10 days, which means in one day C is going to eat how many apples? 2.5 apples, which means if C is going to eat 2.5 apples in one day, your question is what? C will take how many days of time to complete the total work? In one day C can eat 2.5 apples, which means C's efficiency is 2.5. If he is going to do total work is how much? Total work is like 60 apples. To consume the 60 apples, C is going to take 60 by 2.5, that is nothing but 24 days time, which means C is going to take 24 days if he is going to work alone. Okay, simple question. C will take 24 days to complete it alone. Why? Because once if you solve this question, you'll come to know that C is going to consume 2.5 apples per day. Once if C is going to consume 2.5 apples per day, to eat 60 apples, 60 by 2.5, that is like 24 days of time. Simple question, yes or no? Okay, in the next question it was saying you in this way: A can do a piece of work in 10 days, B can do it in 12 days. They work together for 3 days. Then B leaves and A alone continues. 2 days after that, C joins and then the work completed in 2 more days. Now your question is C alone can finish the work in how many days? That was your question. Okay, let us look at that. According to the question, it is said that A alone how many days it seems? 10 days. B alone how many days it seems? 12 days. Now according to the question, it is said that initially what happened is they work together means A and B works together for how many days? A and B works together for 3 days. After that, what happens is B leaves. Now B is going to leave the work. If B leaves means only A is going to work. A alone continues 2 days. For A is going to continue for 2 days. After that, B joins. So A will continue for 2 days. After that who is going to? C is going to join, it seems. For A, C is going to join. Now this will be A plus C. And it is said that after 2 more days the work is completed. Now your question is to find C alone can take how many days to complete the work? That was your question. A 10 days it seems, B 12 days. They work together for 3 days. After that B leaves the work, which means A is going to continue. A continues for 2 days and after that C is going to join A, and if they work for 2 more days and the work is completed. Now your question is C alone is going to take how many days of time? Simple, take LCM. 10, 12. LCM is going to be how much? 60. This will how many units per day? 6. This will how many apples per day? 5. Now if you look here, both of them, they can consume how many apples? 6 plus 5, 11 apples per day. They are consuming for 3 days of time. Why? Because they are working for 3 days. Now one day they will eat 11 apples. In 3 days they are going to eat 33 apples. Yes. Next. After that, what happens is like, if you observe here, A here to here, A is working here to here, right? Which means A is going to work 2 plus 2, total 4 days of time. If A is going to work 4 days of time, A can eat 6 apples in 1 day. In 4 days means he will eat 6 into 4. 6 into 4, that is nothing but 24 apples. Why? Because A will eat 6 apples in 1 day. Now A is going to work from here to here. Here to here means 2 plus 2, 4. Now 6 into 4, that is nothing but A will eat 24 apples. Now if A is going to eat 24 apples means initially if you observe here, from here to here they have completed already 33 apples, that is A and B. And if you look here, from here to here, anyway A is working for 2 plus 2, 4 days. So A will eat 6 apples per day. In 4 days, 6 into 4, they are going to eat 24 apples, which means total apples consumed 33 plus 24. 33 plus 24 is nothing but 57, which means total apples consumed is like 57 apples. Out of 60 apples, 57 apples are consumed. 57 apples consumed means remaining apples how many? 30. Sorry, remaining apples are like 3, which means to consume 3 units or to consume 3 apples, C is going to take how many days of time? C is going to take 2 days of time. Why? Because C is working only at this particular place. So to consume 3 apples, C will take 2 days of time. Now your question is to find C is going to take how many days to complete work alone. Work alone means work is how much? Work is to eat 60 apples. Yes or no? To eat 60 apples, how many days C will take? Now if you look here, C to eat 3 apples, he is taking 2 days. Then to eat 60 apples means 3 how many times? 3 20 times it will be 60. Then in the similar way, 2 20 times it is nothing but 40, which means C is going to take 40 days of time to eat total. So C is going to take 40 days to complete the total work. Okay, simple question. If you read the question clearly, then solving this question will become really simple. If necessary, I will explain you one more time. If you observe here, A can complete work in 10 days, B can complete work in 12 days. They both started the work. And they worked for 3 days of time. After that, B left. B left means only A is working. A worked for how many days? 2 more days, which means A worked for 2 more days alone. After that, what happened is C joined him. So C joined him and both of them continued the work for how many more days? 2 more days, and work is completed. Now your question is to say C alone can complete the work in how many days? So simply what you will do, 12 and 10 and 12 LCM is like 60, which means this fellow will eat 6 apples per day, this fellow will eat 5 apples per day. Both of them means they will eat 11 apples per day. If they eat 11 apples per day for the first 3 days, both of them are eating. So 3 into 11, they will eat 33 apples. Yes or no? For the first 3 days, they will eat 33 apples. After that, what happened? Is like, if you look from here to here, this is the remaining work. Now this remaining work, what happened is like, in this remaining work, A is working totally, that is A is working 2 plus 2 4 days. If A is working 2 plus 2 4 days, A will eat 6 apples in 1 day. In 4 days, A will eat 6 into 4, 24 apples, which means remaining is like 24 apples. Now 33 plus 24 is nothing but 67. Now, sorry, 33 plus 24, this will be 57, which means out of 60 apples, 50 apples are already consumed. 50 apples consumed means remaining are like 3 apples. Now this remaining 3 apples is consumed by whom? Remaining 3 apples is consumed by C. In the question it is clearly said that C was there only for last 2 days of time, which means C is consuming 3 apples in 2 days. If C consumes 3 apples in 2 days, total work is like 60 apples. To consume 60 apples, how many days? For 3 apples 2 days means 60 apples is like 20 times. So 220 times, it is like 40 days of time, which means C alone can complete the work in 40 days of time. Okay, and if you are new to our channel and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so that you'll be getting the notification once the video is uploaded. And I need all you guys to share our videos with maximum number of persons. This is the only request I have for you. Why? Because I need support from you guys. So try to share our videos with maximum number of persons, and I will be coming across best and unique techniques which will help you to crack the examinations as early as possible.